share with you 5 things that I have done in my 20s that have cost me millions. So you can avoid doing those things. You can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, and you can make a lot more money in the process as well. I just recently turned 30, right? And I was reflecting. I went for a little vacation. I was like reflecting some of the things that happened in my 20s. So my overall like trajectory, like in life till like 25 years old, I was pretty much like completely lost. And about 24, 25, I was like completely lost, like going in like different direction, not having like specific purpose or goals. Then it started to change, right? Then I started to kind of like evolve and go into the right direction. So the last 5 years have been quite productive, but still, even in those 5 years, now looking backwards, I see some of the things that I could have done better. And now obviously that comes from the perspective of like experience, and I know some things that I didn't know before. So obviously that helps. So number one thing and number one mistake that I have done was basically listening to the wrong people. By wrong people, sometimes I mean like parents, right? Sometimes, these are like friends that you think are friends for you. Sometimes these are like people that are very close to you, right? And then you think they have your best like intentions in mind, intentions about you, right? Like they want to help you do well, or they want you to succeed. But then oftentimes these people haven't gotten to the point where you want to be themselves, right? So they give you the advice from their limited perspective, and if you take that advice and if you apply it, if you go like, and if, obviously you don't want to, so the core of that like whole issue is that you don't want to upset them, right? Or you want to be just like maintain like a great relationship with them. And if you do that, I mean, obviously that will be good for your relationship probably, but that will not be good for your future. So for example, if your parents want you to have like a good job, and they want you to have like a great career in a big company, or they want you to do certain things, and they want you to marry specific people. In some countries that's like quite typical. So pretty much they're taking the decision making for themselves, right? And they're making decisions of your life from their perspective, putting you in and giving you things that they are thinking the best for you, but only you and only you know what's best for you, right? And you have to decide what's actually the best for you. Now this applies not only for people who are like just starting out, like 20 years old. Like this sometimes people that are like 40, 50 years old, they're not making their own decisions about their own life. And if they would just take that perspective and take like full responsibility, okay, so I'm making these decisions, and even if it will upset some people, it's my freaking life, so I have to make those decisions. So this is very important like realization. So the moment when I started to detach from like from family, from friends, like from people who have wanted to set their agenda on me, right? Like what they wanted my life to look like. This is probably the moment where I started to evolve very fast, because I knew that whatever decisions I have made, whether those have been like good decisions or bad decisions, right? Those are all mine, and I'm the only person who's responsible for them. This is very, very important mindset. So if you feel that someone influences your decision making too much, and if you think like rationally, if that person doesn't have the experience that for example, is not where you actually want to be, right? To give you that advice or give you that perspective, then you just have to disattach yourself from those people. You didn't have to be like rude about it, like you just explained. So this is my agenda. I'll do things and I'll be responsible. I'll be accountable for them, right? And just basically gradually disattach and make decisions that are right specifically for you. So number 2, guys, is not being in the right environment. So I'm from Ukraine, so my environment initially wasn't very like productive, and it wasn't the right environment for me to evolve as a person. So again, impact that I was getting from friends, from family, it wasn't the right impact, it wasn't the right advice that I was getting. So only the moment where I detached, I started like traveling to other countries and moving to other countries, I started to get progress. And specifically environment applies, so this applies not only for specific countries and specific places. So now, for example, I live in Miami, which is tremendous environment, it's great environment, so many great people here. So just being in this environment, seeing how everyone, for example, there are people that are doing very, very well here. So I see those people, how they behave themselves, how they do, like, so it's kind of like impacts your decision making. And also you see that all of those people that do like much better than you, oftentimes those people are not necessarily some special people. These are just like regular people. They just been doing the right things for a longer time period than you. Being in that environment, always think like, for example, even if let's say you're in e-commerce space, okay, so what is the best like environment I should be in to do well? Where is it, for example, the community of people that can help me to achieve my goals? And I mean, our community, e-commerce scaling secrets, is if you want to do well, and specifically if you do like already like $50,000, $100,000 per month, it's probably the best place for you to be, because we have the community of other people that do those numbers and much bigger numbers. So if you want to be surrounded by those people, by the right environment, get inspired, get motivated, and also get the right information, then probably that's where you want to be. So that's just example, right, of the right community and the right environment for yourself. And then obviously moving yourself from the country, from the environment where you are in, to the right environment where it's the most productive. So for example, United States is a tremendous environment for business. It's very easy to do business here, and it's the loans and credit is accessible to businesses, so businesses can grow faster. Whereas like in some other countries, those things are not easily accessible to businesses. So for example, like in Poland, where I lived for some time previously, or some other countries, like it's not easily accessible to business. So you have to be in an environment which is the most productive for the business, and also for your personal life. And obviously now this comes another thing. So for example, you want to move to another country, but then your parents, they don't want you to move because they want you to be closer to them, right? So then again, there's like conflict of interest that occurs, and that comes down to the first point, right? Where you take the advice from, who you take the advice from. Again, that conflict of interest happens, and you have to do, in most of the cases, you have to do the things that are good specifically for you, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll be looking backwards and you think like, geez, I should have moved to that country, I should have moved to that place if I had the opportunity. That would be more productive to my growth. Another thing with environment, guys, is that you evolve very fast. Like humans are very adaptable. If you live in some environment for, let's say, so I live in Miami for like about like 4 months, and it's just like you adapt so fast. Now everything is so familiar. I live on the like 40th floor, and first days, like it was so like scary, like because you look down, it's like 40 floors down, and now I'm looking like it's quite normal now. It's like you don't even feel that height anymore. So humans are very adaptable, and you put yourself in the environment where it's like you feel uncomfortable, but where it's like the most productive for your growth, and where people that have actually where you want to be. So that's number 2, guys. Number 3 is not taking enough time to rest and travel. And I mean, I'm a hardworking person. I like to work. I enjoy working. But then after after this like little vacation I took, I realized that it's necessary to take little vacations, even like every like month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, like taking a few days off and actually like reevaluating things. So I took the vacation, and I resaw like a lot of the things in the business and other aspects that should be done like differently. And that is just like gives you so much like ROI, right? So the ROI of travel is not okay. So you take a few days off out of business and you're not working. So that's one side of this equation. But then another side is like, if you reevaluate your business, and if you make your business more efficient, then the ROI of those like few days of traveling and having rest and just seeing other places and being in nature is just like tremendous tremendous return on that time that you put into it. So take the time off if you feel like a few months and you just like the same things. And specifically, one tip, guys, if you feel like you're doing something and you just like you need to do something and you just like simply cannot go through, like it's simply like you're just delaying some important thing that you need to do, probably that's a time for you to take time off, reevaluate things. So for example, when I came back from this last little vacation, I just got done like a lot of the things that I just was putting off like for a long time. I was just like delaying those things. I wouldn't do them, and now I just like came back and just like boom 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 boom, I just got them done, and it's all accomplished very fast and no issues, like just like boom boom boom, you got them done. So that's number 3, like take the time to rest and travel, because that's very important for your like regeneration. Just seeing another perspective, again, changing the environment. So for example, I went to mountains and being in the nature, like breathing like fresh air, seeing some some animals, like just different environment, right? So you're adapting, you seeing like a different perspective. Then when you come back and look at your business, you see things differently as well. Oh, I mean, this thing is not efficient, this is not efficient, I should do this more, I should do this less, right? These team members should perform differently, they should do differently, right? So you gaining totally different perspective on everything after having those occasions. Number 4 is working for other people for too long. I mean, that specifically applied to me. I mean, I worked for other people. I worked different types of jobs. I was like a cookie salesman, and I was working on some of those positions for too long. Typically, if you wanna like, I mean, that's only if you're like entrepreneur. If you wanna do like, I mean, some people make like amazing career working for other people. So if you wanna do your own business, then the only purpose of you working for someone else would be probably like, one, to generate some extra cash flow so you can surpass that period. Or let's say if you work with clients but eventually want to build your own business, then you should just like gain the necessary experience and do the things that you want to do, right, as quickly as possible. Gain the necessary experience and gain the cash flow, right? That's like two major things. So for example, Jeff Bezos, right, who's founder of Amazon, like, so he was working on jobs, and then at one point he just decided to quit, right? And he had like a pretty good like position in a financial company, but he's gained a lot of experience, and he also gained obviously he saved some money while working there because it was in New York and it was well paid. But he decided to just move on and start his own business. I mean, if he would work there for another like 5 years, it will be even more difficult for him to start his own business, right? You're getting used to it. You get used to like stable income on a monthly basis, whereas like entrepreneur, you have to always hunt, for money and for income, for sales. Use that experience, definitely. I mean, some of the experience working for other people will like, and specifically for the right companies maybe in the industries where you want to be. Like for example, if you want to be in the e-commerce space and you work like, let's say, like running ads for some companies in e-commerce space, or you do some other things for them, but you see the operations from the inside, you see how they do things, it's invaluable. It's very valuable, because then you can take those insights and implement them for your own business. So that is definitely hyper valuable. But just remember that there's limited amount of time. So I'm 30 now, and I should have done some things like much faster. I mean, I should have been like in the same position that I'm now, like by the time I'm 25. And I see some people that, for example, that are in, doing very similar things, and they're like 22, 23 years old, or like even 20. Some of our students in e-commerce scaling secrets program, I mean, they run like 7-figure businesses, and they're not even like 19 years old. They're like 18, 17 years old. It is very important to kind of get this like started as quickly as possible, to learn if necessary, work on some positions to gain the experience, but then you should just move on, and you should obviously take more risks and do the things that you really want to do, because you have the limited time. And if you do it, like, you'll definitely figure it out along the way. It's not rocket science. So another thing, that's the last thing I want to share with you guys, is not investing enough in myself. If I'm looking backwards, like the the best thing that I have done and the best like progress in very like short period of time was when I started to invest money in myself. And so, for example, there was like one event that we went together with my wife, and it was like at that period of time it was like $5,000 for both of us, and I was making like $1,000. I was still like working, you know, on a full-time job, and I was trying to do some side projects and stuff. And so imagine kind of like investing that amount of money where you don't have kind of like the full, where you don't have that, like it's not like very comfortable for you to spend that amount of money on the education and improve yourself. But now thinking like you know, backwards, like I'm thinking like those events and people that I have met and what I have seen that had like tremendous impact on my mindset at that time, that allowed me to evolve at a much like faster rate. If you can like invest into education, invest into basically being in like an environment of people, seeing people like specifically masterminds, being like groups of people that are doing things that you want to do, because you will see how people operate, right? You will see how people, you see those people are regular people, because sometimes we see people on we see people like on a TV, or we see people like even like on YouTube, right? And we think that those people are somehow like special, whereas like, I mean, those are regular people. They've just been doing stuff that they're doing for longer, and the closer you are to them, you realize, okay, so I can do the same thing over time, right? It's just like you just start doing that, and then you have more confidence in yourself to actually go and do it. That's why being in the right community, in the right environment, as you can see, few of these like mistakes that I see I have done have been around the environment, around being like around other people who do things that I actually wanted to do, and learning from those people. So again, guys, if you want to be in the best community for e-commerce entrepreneurs, there should be a link below this video where you can apply for a free strategy session. It's not for everyone. It's only for people who already have a business and want to scale it to the next level. If you do like $20, $50, $100,000 plus per month in sales with your e-commerce dropshipping business, that will be the best fit for you. And so if you wanna be in that community of people and evolve much faster, because what can be done like in, let's say, in 1 year, the progress that can be done like in 1 year can also be done like in 5 years, or can be done in 10 years, or it can be like done like never. Like it can be done like for some people it's just like they do not evolve in their whole like lifetime. So it is your choice. Obviously there's always some limitation in terms of time, how much you can accomplish, but using these accelerators, using these like things that can accelerate your performance, being in the right environment of people, and being like surrounded by the right information are the things that can get you traction the fastest. So guys, these are the 5 things that I wanted to share with you. This is not like a regular video like you would see in my channel, but I thought those will be valuable for you, and some of the mistakes that I have done that you don't have to do yourself now. And let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. If you're looking for help in being in the right environment for e-commerce dropshipping entrepreneurs, scale your business with paid traffic, with Facebook advertising, with Pinterest ads, then should be a link below. Apply for the free call. We'll see how we can help you. We'll evaluate your situation. We'll just take it from there. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.